So in JavaScript, reduce is another way you can run a method on an array. So here I have a little program, and if we run it, oops, if we run it, it'll return hello world. But how does this work? Well, first, I need to understand how the reduce function works. Now, like map and filter, it returns a copy of an array that you give it. So, but it also accepts some parameters. The first parameter is a stored value. You can think of this as like an accumulator parameter. So let me visualize this with a list of numbers. I think that would be much easier. So think of the stored value like a sum value. So imagine you were trying to add up all the numbers in a list. The stored value would be the current total value, like the sum value, the total value, however you think of it. The current item is just the current item in the array or list or whatever. So maybe it's this 1, 2, 3, 4, one of these individual items. The stored value is the total. Now, then we can do some sort of manipulation on the total stored value. So we can add to the stored value, we can subtract, we can do whatever. But for this example, let's just add. So we add the current item, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, to the stored value for all the items in the list. But we obviously have to start somewhere. So we're going to start at 0. Then the stored value would start at 0. Then we'd go to the first element in the array. That's 1, so we add 1. So okay, the stored value is 1. Now the second item, 2. Add 2, the total value is 2. Or not 2, it's 3. Add 3, the total value is 6. Add 4, the total value is 10. Add 5, total value is 15. So think of it as a way to combine a list. We can even do a factorial function, if you know what that is. Oh, if it's going to start at 0. 120. Yeah, this has a lot of applications. And of course, if we want to do it without brackets, we would have to remove the return syntax. But the brackets, I think, make it look easier. So yeah, I mean, that's one feature of the reduce syntax. Of course, like before, you can combine strings. So how this works is it starts initially with this hello value. Then that's the stored value. So to visualize this, we start off with hello. Then we go to the first, since we're going to loop through all the items of a list, that's how array methods work or array functions. We start at comma, we add that to the total value. Space, total value. W, total value. O, total value. R, total value. L, add that, total value. D, exclamation point. Boom. So, I mean, yeah, you can think of it as a way, you can think of it as a summing method. I mean, you can also subtract, obviously. This isn't just for summing. So let's go back to math. We can obviously subtract, negative 15, divide, it's just 0 or 1. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of applications of this. I think out of the 3 main array methods, map, filter, reduce, filter is probably the most complicated one, but it lets you do the most amount of things. So yeah, I mean, that's array.reduce. I mean, think of it as just accumulating a value or like a sum. Think of it like you're just adding up all the numbers in an array. And obviously we don't need this initial value, I just have that there, so it makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I mean, we can even really simplify this if you want. I mean, I'm just writing that so it's easier for the viewer to understand. So you could even write it in a really complicated way if you want. Still get the same result. Yeah, that's the reduce function. Basically just adds up all the items in the array. Don't get me wrong, you can also do more. But if you're having a hard time thinking about what it does, just think about like you're just adding up all the items. So yeah. Like if you want, sub if you want. Or sub if you want, like if you want.